Hello. 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 Hey, I'm sorry, but you didn't get on until 7:19. Sorry, I waited 15 minutes. I got off. All right, let's try this again.
Hello, sir.
There we go. I'm
Could
like,
you give me 1 second, please? I have
okay,
the doorbell just
all
rung.
right, you fine. You fine.
All right,
You
thank you.
fine.
Thank you.
Huh?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you very much. Have a good one. Uh-huh. All right. All right. Oh, okay. I'm back.
Mr. Rob.
How you doing today?
Boy, I've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Well, I'm here.
I'm
I
looking
try
forward
my
to this
best to
one.
be on time. All right.
No,
Let's.
no, I am. Well, first of all, let me say thank you for being on here. I am talking with the husband of Katrina Collins, Mr. Robert Collins. Um, Robert, let me
Yes,
first of
sir.
all, let me say this. How in the world are you able to have a marriage where Katrina looks like she is always constantly moving?
That's
Literally.
very interesting. Uh, Katrina is highly focused,
Yeah.
and despite all the things that you guys see her doing and accomplishing, she puts her household first.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, her number one goal, she says this to me all the time, and this is what the youngsters would say, cap.
Yeah.
She tells me all the time that above being a school principal, above being a minister, above all the aspirations that she have and goals that she want to pursue, her
Mhm.
number one goal is to be a good wife.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing
Yes, sir.
um, that I can truly say. Because I'm like, I be sitting there like, what you doing now? Good Lord.
Yeah, and I'm the springboard for everything. Anything she's about to do, she bounces it off me first.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about the organization. I don't know if she told you about the organization, what we do.
Okay.
So basically, we help kids all over the country, 9th through 12th grade, literally figure out what they really want to do with their lives.
Okay.
So we can literally carve out a career path based on uh, answers to our questions. So behind the scenes, they're answering questions like, do you like going fishing? Do you like waking up at a certain time? Do you like dealing with people? Do you like science? Do you like math? Do you like, um, I think I saw one question where it was like, do you like driving? So all of that is being put together behind the scenes where it gives them the top 3 career paths that they need to be looking at. And like I tell them students all the time, you better be honest because it's going to give you it's a 90 to 95% accurate. Uh, and it's basically what it does is that it allows kids to literally figure out what they want to do so they're not guessing.
Yeah.
Or they're not, I kind of say off in the bliss, still wondering because time waits for nobody.
It does not.
So the program, the software that we have is utilized to help these kids figure out what they really and truly want to do, whether they're going to college, whether they're going to trade, whether they're going to entrepreneurship, whether they're going into military, or whether they're going overseas to go work for the government. The goal is to help them go in the right direction so they're not wasting time because there's a thing called reality check that all kids can go through. And at some point, some kids are indecisive. Some kids know what they want to do. Some kids are still trying to figure it out. And we tell them all the time, look, we're not here to tell you exactly, but we are here to guide you and give you 3 options that you can go and look at. After that, the next phase is working with a career mentor from all over the country and then putting them in a job in the summertime so they can experience it for themselves or as close to the career so they can experience it for themselves. So that way, it's something that started with my 2 knucklehead daughters. And it just went from there to helping their friends and their classmates. And now it's grown to helping kids. We help kids whether in LA, Denver, Austin, Houston, Oklahoma, Louisiana. So we are now in the process of becoming a national recognized organization. So we're going to expand all over the country and all over the world because the next phase is working with those that's outside of the world wants to come into the States, but don't know the language, don't know the history, don't know anything. They just know what they was taught based on what they saw on TV and based on what they was taught in their environment. So that's the next phase is to help them. So this whole entire gala is not only for scholarships, but it's also being able to fund because we have entrepreneurs that if we truly deem them as entrepreneurs and they present a presentation in front of us, and if we truly believe in it, we're going to fund them money so they can go do it.
It sounds good to me.
So we've already funded 3 organizations, 3 companies so far since we've been doing this. This makes our 5th year because we were down for COVID for a while. So that's what the whole organization. And then the last part of it is you ever seen? I don't know if you ever seen this. How many kids? How many siblings you have?
I have 5 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay, so this is definitely good for you. Why is it? It's 6 of y'all, right? 7.
Well, it's 7 of us. One of us is no longer here, but yes, it was 7 of us in all.
It's 7 of y'all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it only out of all 7, y'all all go in different directions, but y'all all get there like some get there first, some get there second, some did. Why is it in most families like mine, like my family,
Hmm.
like I'm the middle boy. So I got a chance to go to college and graduate from college. My older sister went, but she came back. My second older sister didn't go, and she ended up doing the trade world. My baby sister ended up doing the hair world. My brother ended up in prison. So I'm like, why is it? Why is it five kids grew up and all in the same household? It not all of them make it. Why is it? What is that? Is it the environment? Is it the the school system? Is it the uh, I call them crossroads of life? Is it
Hmm.
that? Is it the people that surrounding them? Is it not involved in any sports activity? What is it that makes one go faster and get there, and the other one goes backwards and never gets there? And you realize, like, dang, you got this tussle going back and forth, even though they grow up in the
I,
same house.
I believe it's personal choice and personal decisions. I'm just a firm believer that we're a sum of our decisions.
Mhm.
And when you grow up in the same household, of course, I'm in the middle as well.
Right.
And so, I have three brothers ahead of me, two brothers and a sister behind me.
Mhm.
And I kind of grew up, I think being in the middle puts you at an advantage because you get to see the mistakes that the people, I mean, that your siblings ahead of you made, and then you get to be the example for your siblings behind you.
Mhm.
And I think I think the parents they learn from their mistakes because that when you have your first child, you're learning to be a parent.
Yeah.
And after you go through the progression of having another child and another child and another child, you kind of
Mhm.
see the mistakes that you made. My mother did me a favor. Um, I had two brothers ahead of me. They're twins. I have an
Mhm.
older brother, and we're all like 2 years apart. Well, the twins went to school, came home, played Sega Genesis in their bedroom for a whole year.
Mhm.
When I got home, I couldn't get my stuff in the room good when I left because I left college as well. But when
Yeah.
I got home, I couldn't get my stuff in the house good before my mom said, "You're gonna go get your job and you're not gonna get." And I'm like, "Well, what about them upstairs?"
Yeah.
But that kind of helped me because it gave me an immediate focus.
Yeah.
So there's a responsibility that comes. But I think it's a multitude of things that reasons that could be you
Yeah.
know but I happen to think that it all comes down to what an individual chooses to do and the experiences that an individual have, the examples. Some people have mentors, some people don't. My parents, they didn't go to college,
Yeah.
but we were all successful because we all graduated high school.
Yeah.
We're all productive citizens in this world today.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's personal choice. Now, I'm the only college graduate out of all of my brothers and sisters, but I got that later on. I just graduated this year.
Yeah.
But it's personal, but I think it's just personal choice.
Yeah.
It's just the decisions you make.
Yeah. Yeah. Reason, and that's what the gala is about. So part of it is the scholarship, career research, uh, the entrepreneurship that we fund, and then the last portion is building a national youth center. There is no place in America where you can come and learn and figure out what type of career they want to do. There's none, and I've been looking all over trying to find a career institute or something like that where high school students can come and learn what it is, not just learn from the STAR test, but
Mhm.
actually learn why am I doing this math? Why am I learning this math? Because what am I going to do with this? I need to learn math because you're going to go to the grocery store, you're going to do other, see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's the gist of the whole entire gala. And that's what we're doing with Katrina's honoring those who have been the doors. Uh, I call them the key masters of opening up doors for other generations to come through. Um,
Okay. Yeah,
so,
I definitely get it. I definitely, Trina, like I said, she throws so much at me that a lot of times, I do good to stay attentive, but I get the things that I need to get. But here in this program, I really believe this is an experience that some of these high school graduates can have
Yeah,
that could, kind of bolster their decisions in a more positive direction.
yeah, yeah, and the whole entire gala and this is something I started 5 years, no, back in 2019, because I wanted to find
Mhm.
those hidden figures that don't get the accolades that they should get in order for them to literally get on another level and say, look, I've been doing this for such and such years. And people are like, I don't know who you are. I know. So, so I want to be able to like, look, let's put them on another level so they can be able to not only get their ministry out, but be able
Mhm.
to expand beyond the beyond. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, at the end of the day, I want them, I don't want them just not getting an award. I understand that. I want
Mhm.
them to go beyond. Like I want to
Right.
be able to go into other states and hear about them.
Mhm.
But getting back to the Katrina, so y'all been married how long?
6 years. It'll be 6 years in November.
Hold on. What day y'all got married?
We got married November 27th,
Okay.
2017.
Ooh, wait, boy. I'm about to say you got married the same time I got married. Hold on now. Because my birthday and my wedding, so my birthday is on the 13th, my wedding is on the 16th.
Okay.
It'll be 10 years for us.
Okay.
So so
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. Same to you.
Thank-
What do you what do you what do you think about Katrina? I mean, you've been married to her for 6 years. Um, what is it about Katrina that drew you to her? I mean, when you all was dating, how long did y'all date?
Well, Katrina and I have an interesting story. We dated in the early 2010s,
Okay,
and well, things didn't kind of go the way we thought it should have went,
right,
and we kind of separated. We went in different directions, and we united by Facebook, honestly, in July of 2017, and we just kind of hit it off. We started seeing each other again, and then we went on a trip to Memphis, and we were inseparable from there. And it wasn't a hard. By that time, we both knew what we wanted to do simultaneously. So that's kind of like how it happened. We have a lot in common conversation. Outdoor activities, bicycling. She's a health nut, and I like working out as well. So
yeah,
those are things, those activities that we really hit it off in. But Katrina, 'cause what drew me to Trina was her focus. I
yeah,
call her Trina. Some people call her Katrina. I call her Trina.
yeah,
And what drew me to her was she's just a focused individual. I mean, from the time she hits the floor in the morning, everything's already mapped out. She already knows what she wants to do. She already knows how she has her day planned, and she's committed. She hits the gym every morning, you know, around 5, and somehow she's there, energetic and ready for the kids at her school.
yeah,
Um, and she sees that as a ministry. It's not just a job to her. It's just not another notch in her belt. She's there to grow anybody that's willing to grow, from the children, the staff, to her parents.
yeah,
And anybody that's willing to grow, she's willing to take part in that process.
yeah. So what would you say about Katrina in regards to her level of next level? What's next level? What would you say? What's next level for her, for Katrina?
Next level for, I think, the seeds that she's planting today,
Mhm.
um, as far as writing her book, trying to get her Spark Tomorrow Foundation off the ground.
Mhm.
That is her tomorrow. That is her. We both are not far from retirement.
Yeah,
I work in the school system as well, and she already knows what she wants to do once she leaves the ISDs. Her mission is what she's doing. What Spark Tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. So how long you been doing the education world?
I've been in I'm on the operation side of
Okay.
the of education, and I've been in education 24 years.
Now, what drawed you? What made you want to go into that career field?
Well, I was a knucklehead. Like I said, I left college. I was a knucklehead, and I came in the house one day, and my dad just looked at me. My mom and dad both worked in ISD. My dad was a custodian, and my mom was a cafeteria manager. And my dad looked at me. He said, "Son, well, why don't you go down there and fill out one of those jobs at the district until you figure out what you want to do?"
Mm.
And I did that. I was a custodian for 17 years, and I've been a grounds manager, I mean, grounds supervisor. I supervise 1/4 of Dallas ISD's grounds department. And I've been doing that for the past 7 years.
Did they ever tell you that that's something that you wanted to do forever, or is it just something you just wanted to do for the
Uh,
time being?
at first, I thought I wanted to be a teacher.
Right.
And but once I made my transition out of custodial into the grounds department, then I really found my niche. And my ultimate goal is to kind of move up into into upper management, maybe be a director over one of the departments in Dallas ISD's operations or some ISD's operations services department.
Okay. Okay. Did you what what outside of how was your parents when they said go down there and get that job? What did you think when you said when you first started to go down there? Did you think, oh no, or did you think, okay, let me go do this there? Was you
Well, I
scared?
mean, I always worked. No, I wasn't scared. I was always a worker.
Yeah.
And and my parents were, they were not educated.
Right.
They both, my mom, she had an eighth grade, my dad an eighth grade education, and my dad, he had a high school diploma.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of raised to you know graduate high school, get a job, and take care of yourself.
Mhm.
But which is not a bad thing, because as I said, my parents, I grew up in South Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a rough part of Dallas, Texas. And to have 6 boys in a household and none of them see the penitentiary, and you look up and all of your boys are in their 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
and nobody's seen the inside of a penitentiary. That was a good accomplishment for
Yeah.
my parents, I believe.
Yeah.
And so, they gave us, and I like to say, they gave us the best of what they had.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, and so, no, so I mean, I wanted a job. I liked having money in my pocket. So, if that was what was going to get me independent and get me to paying some bills on my own, then I was willing to do it. But yeah, I wasn't scared at all.
Now, how does that in respect to the foundation you laying for your kids?
Hmm.
Because I mean, you grew up with a lot of siblings. So
Yes, sir.
now, how does that how does that in regards to laying the groundwork for your kids that's coming after you? How do you lay that for them? Because you have a degree and you have all these things going on.
Hmm.
So how do you lay the groundwork and say, okay, I'm going to lay this groundwork for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation?
Well, interestingly enough, I deal with a lot of younger guys in the workforce,
Yeah,
and a lot of them, they just want a job. They don't have they mean a lot of them are hard workers, but they just want a job. They don't really have a futuristic vision. And I
right.
always tell them, and just going back to my dad, I would always tell him, well, hey, look here, man, until you figure out what you want to do, this is an amazing place to be,
Yeah,
because it's going to give you independence. It's going to give you an income, and you're working on a retirement. You're working on a pension.
yeah,
But what I tell my daughters, and what I even tell those that have an ear to hear, is that this is a world of certifications. No, college is not for everybody.
right.
But the world is starving for certain things. The world is starving for electricians. The world is starving for computer software designers, technicians, and plumbers, painters, HVAC technicians. The world is starving for those kind of things, and those are very relevant fields. So I just really stress, hey man, figure out what you want to do, figure out what it's going to take for you to get there, and start working on it.
Yeah. And that's a good message to give this next generation, because at the end of the day, they need it. They definitely need it. So my last
and
question,
that's
huh?
yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
That's what I tell my daughter, our children. Hey, figure out what you want to do. Once you figure out what you want to do, you figure out the criteria to get there. You just start walking that criteria down.
Yeah, yeah. My last question, and I'm gonna get out of here because I got another one at 8 o'clock. Tell me a story
Okay.
about Katrina. tell me,
Okay.
tell me a story about Katrina.
A story about Katrina. Hmm. Um. Well, would you like? Could it be any story?
Any story. Any story.
Well, I have this. One that makes me laugh, and I can laugh now because it's something that we both laugh at. Uh, like I said, Trina and I like the bicycle,
Right.
and Trina is a nurturer, and so we were riding down this bicycle path. She was riding behind me, and as we got to riding down the bicycle path, and as we got further down the path, it was getting muddier and muddier. So while Trina was like, "Baby, watch out! You need to be careful. Your bike is fishtailing. Your bike is fishtailing." And I'm like, "Oh no, baby, you just be careful." And before we knew it, Trina had kind of slid, and we were on a bridge,
Right.
and she kind of slid down, and we both had to just walk the bikes down there. But we laugh about that a lot. She was worried about my safety, and she winded up sliding. And we have photos of that. I believe she still have the photos of that. But once it was so muddy that we both just got off the bikes and just started walking. And one side of her, she was muddy on one side, and so we laugh about that a lot. Yeah.
Well, tell her to send me that picture.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation. Wish we could go a little longer, but
Oh yeah.
you know.
We'll get a chance because I do panel. I'm getting ready to do some panels. Uh, what I call grown conversations
Hmm.
from the heart. I call it grown conversations from the heart. Uh,
Yes, sir.
and I'll be able to get you all together, and we'll have conversations about life, about manhood, about decisions, about our faith, and really, the biggest thing is going to be about communication. That's one of the things we're going to definitely talk about, uh, not only from one man to another man, but just overall communication overall. How do you get along with people? How do you do things you need to do? So I'm getting ready to start that conversation piece probably another month or two. Uh,
Okay. I look forward to it.
so we can have, because I think that we don't, men is different, you
Hmm.
know, it's always been different. See, women, no. Men, we gonna sit down like, all right, let's have some grown conversation, just be real,
We're gonna get to the
tell it
meat.
like it
We're
is.
gonna get to the meat. We're gonna get to the meat and eat. Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
I
sir.
think,
Well, like I said, I've enjoyed it, and
yes,
I was anticipating how it was going to be,
yeah,
and I'm like Zoom meeting. Well, man, I don't know if I want to do that, and but I really have enjoyed it.
yeah.
You really opened me up, and I appreciate
Yeah, thank you. And then when you get a chance, send me that picture of the mother.
it. Yes, sir. I'm gonna tell her to send it to me. I want to see that picture. Send it to me, and then I'll get it to you.
Then I said, put it in the thing. She's like, where did you get? Don't worry about that.
Yes, sir. Well, you have a good night,
Yes,
and
sir, Mr. Robert. You have a good evening. Thank you for allowing me to interview tonight. So
yes, sir.
you have a good
My
evening.
pleasure.
All
You
right,
do the same.
you too.
Bye.
I will.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.